Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and I have a cool ink for you today, but let's get right to the paper because I can't find the sample vial that I have for this one. This is Sailor's Yurameku Kyokkou, I think. That's a tough one to say. And I've had it in this here Derail Pens pen for a bit, and this is a really pretty pen. Looks kind of like, I don't know, cotton candy or clouds or something like that, but I really like this very pale, soft blue and pink thing that we got going on here. Has a medium Bach nib on here, which is tuned very nicely. I like this one. So this is what this ink looks like. I got this as a sample from my friend Ruth. Thank you very much, Ruth, for that sample. And this is a really this is an interesting ink. I'm not sure how much I like it. It really depends on the paper and kind of my mood that day. Honestly, it has some very interesting multichrome qualities here. We have some shading. Get this little cat hair off there. There we go. We have some shading, we have some multi-chrome action, but it's often quite light, and so that's not amazing, but on the right papers and with the right nibs and that sort of thing, it will be totally fine. I say the flow there is kind of thin. It's neither wet nor dry. It's sort of medium, but as you can see, depending on the paper, you'll have very light tops of your letters and darker bottoms because it's just dragging that ink down the bottom and kind of leaving it there. So it's fairly thin, and this might be one of those ones that's really good for, like, I don't know, watercolor painting or something like that. It could be really cool for art. I don't think it's great for writing, unlike a lot of the Yuramekus, but it's okay. The paper here, of course, is my usual Nebula Casual Note. If you haven't used this paper before, definitely give it a try. It is quite good, and the performance on this one is extremely good on copy paper, as we'll see here soon. So, here are my comments. Such an interesting ink. Like all the Yurameku series from Sailor, it contains multitudes. Mostly pinkish, but we also see dark tones that make it much more readable. As with other pale inks, it tends to look darker on more absorbent papers, which I like, because I like to see more ink in my ink. But if this one had a bit more ink in it, I think it would be a little better, or maybe if I just let it evaporate for a while or something like that, I would maybe like it a bit better. Because, man, in a swatch, this is amazing up here, but then when you put it through a nib, it can be a little light. So here is the chromatography there, and I will put some water on here for the water drop test, and then we'll get to seeing it on some other papers and next to a few other inks. I don't have very many inks that are anything like this because, as you can see, this is an oddball color, but man, that chromatography is gorgeous, right? Like, what even looks like this? That's really amazing. It's like turquoise or teal and melon and another more different melon. I don't really anticipate much much remaining on the page here after I mop this up. Like the rest of the Yurameku inks, you can find these in 20 ml bottles for about $20, depending on where you go. But that's a really common sort of price for these. And yeah, water completely annihilates this one. So yeah, don't get your water anywhere near this because, bam, that will absolutely disappear. There's hardly anything left at all. All right, firstly, this is my Staples 20-pound, 30% recycled copy paper, and as I said, it does really, really well on this paper. There's maybe a little bit of spread right over here, but I'm not really detecting any feathers or anything like that. I think it's much more readable on this paper than it is on some others, just because it soaks in a bit more. On the back, however, you got a couple little spots, but this paper, pretty well everything either bleeds or shows to some extent, and this one does extremely well on there, even from this medium Bach nib, which is a little bit on the wet side, I'd say. Here it is on some Mormon Mnemosyne paper. I really like Mnemosyne paper. If you have not tried the Mormon Mnemosyne paper, you ought to. You're missing out. This is some transcription from the 99% Invisible City by Roman Mars and Kurt Kohlstedt. We are back on page 92, sample number 138. Man, I'm all over the place in doing these videos, but I think it looks too pale on here, frankly. It's just not soaking into the paper very well. This paper is extremely good for fountain pens, and so it's not great for these very pale multichromes. Let's get a little bit of a close-up there. You can see there is a nice multichrome going on there. It's got good shading, and when you're close enough, it's easy enough to read. I think it's actually a bit darker on camera than it is in person. I'm getting more of a pink cast to it when I'm looking at it in person, but the camera is darkening it up a little bit. So imagine this, but a slightly lighter. And go ahead and snap yourself a screenshot if you want to take a screenshot of this from getting rid of advertisements in urban places. And lastly for our papers, this is my Galen Leather Co. Everyday book. This is old school Tomoe River paper, and there it is on here. It's extremely light. I knew as soon as I wrote this I was going to be in trouble. I'm like, oh man. Oh man, it's so pale. In fact, I'm gonna pick it up because it's getting some show through from the one behind it. It's quite pale. You do get some very nice shading in there, really nice multichrome. And after it had been in the pen for a while, I gave it another scribble because it had darkened just a skosh, but it's still a pretty light ink. So yeah, do be mindful about your paper and ink for this one. And you're gonna have to really like these pale inks if you want to rock with this Kyokkou ink. All right, now for color comparisons, I don't have that many, honestly. So this is the Kyokkou on a Colodex card, and it looks pretty awesome on here, honestly. You get much more of this gray and pink action, and when you put down enough of this ink, it looks spectacular, but when you write with it, it's somewhat less. So let's go ahead and do our little writing sample in here because I haven't done it yet, so we might as well just do it now. Now that it's been in a pen for a while, it has darkened up a fair amount. I actually like it a lot better now than when I started using it. So I'm going to finish up this fill on this pen because I really like this pen. I think the ink is interesting, but you're going to want, the right paper and that sort of thing for that. And also, I think it just works really well on this Colodex paper. These multi-chrome and shading inks are very, very paper dependent, as well as the Yurameku's are. Sometimes they'll be completely different colors on different papers. And I think that's what we're seeing here. It's not just that it's darkened up. It's just that it has, it's on a different paper. Actually, let's go ahead and scribble on here right quick, because why not? We'll give ourselves like the most current scribble here. Yeah, it's pretty darn close, actually. It's changing a little bit as it dries, but yeah, it's pretty close to that second one. And pretty close to the first one. I don't think it's changed that much. I think it might be just partly a little bit of condensing, but mostly just a different paper. Fascinating. But on the right paper, this is really cool. So that's why I'm kind of on the fence about it. I also only found a couple that were even close. So this is Robert Oster's Viola, which is an excellent ink. If you can get your hands on some Viola, I would say do it. I had this in the same pen for a very long time. In fact, I'm pretty sure I used up this entire sample because you get all of these colors in here. And unlike Kyokkou, it is much less paper dependent. This one is really, really nice. And then one that I haven't gotten a chance to put in a pen yet, but I really like. This is Troublemaker's shading series. This is called Golden Orchid. I got from my friend Dustin recently, and that looks amazing. That might be the next ink that goes in this pen, actually, just to kind of see how it goes. But man, that is really good. So thank you very much to my kind friends who have hooked me up with awesome samples of inks. Yeah, really, really good stuff here. This is kind of a little hit or miss, but on the right paper, it is fantastic. So yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence about this one. You just got to know what you're getting into with some of these inks, and that's why I make these videos. Also, I want to tell you, this looks much more pink in person. This ink is really hard to get a camera to represent correctly, and I'm definitely getting more pink through here. You can see hints of pink on it, or at least I can on my screen, but in person, it's far more pink than it's coming off here. It's coming off really gray. Odd. This is very close, though. I don't know, man. This is a weirdo. It's real weird. But there you go. That's Sailor's Yurameku Kyokkou. Check this out wherever you find Sailor inks, especially these Yuramekus. And I'll see you in another video soon. Until then, think about what you put out in the world. Make it a better place. Peace out, y'all.